On this episode of Reclaiming Your Spirituality, we are going to be talking about how how you have to create your own character, what to consider, and how to become a proper, lively member of our universe, so to say. If you are new to this channel, let me just introduce myself to you real quick. My name is Aziz, and my goal here is to make a warrior out of you in our modern times. If you are interested in that, bro, hit the link in the subscribe. I fucked up. Hit the subscribe button down below. I also offer one-to-one coaching. If you are interested in that, you can hit the link in the description down below, and let's just dive into it. So, if you have played a role-playing game, Elder Scrolls, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, things of that nature, Gothic, you get the idea, those types of games. When you create your character, you have a very broad, amount of options that you can like just manually decide on your character. So you have to do this exact same thing when it comes to real life. Real life is a role-playing game. You are a character within our universe. Think about it. You're the main character within your game. And here's the thing. How are you supposed to play a game when you are unfamiliar with your character? Like, how are you supposed to know which stats you gotta level up, which kind of quests you should take, what kind of armor you should wear, what kind of weaponry you gotta use? I mean, let's assume that my strength is really low, but like my intelligence, my magic is really high, and I'm just trying to use a sword all the time because I just haven't figured out that my strength stat is low as fuck, but I'm a fucking magic genius, and I would slaughter everyone if I use magic. If I lead by that example, my life is going to be pure garbage. So I want you to take a pen and paper, and we are going to create your character with RPG stats. So first and foremost, we have your name. You have your name. Write down your name and actually tell me what your name means. So, what's the origin of your name? Is it Germanic? Is it Slavic? Is it maybe Hebrew? Is it Arabic, Semitic, whatever? Japanese? Figure out the origin of your name, and you're actually gonna be surprised because many Westerners have like Abrahamic names that are based on like Judeo-Christian religions and stuff. But yeah, anyway, just write down your name, write down its origin, and write down what exactly your name means. And then you should write down your age. So how old are you? What time period were you born in? What is the zeitgeist of your generation? What exactly is this time period? Like, in what time period are you moving your character? How old are you physically and mentally? Also write down your height and like your build. So your weight, whether you're muscular, and be honest with yourself, these are your base stats right now. Are you muscular? Are you skinny? Are you fit? You can make a spectrum out of it. So we can like do, imagine like a triangle. We've got like fat, muscular, and skinny, and you can just kind of pinpoint where exactly you are. I would be like between skinny and muscular, I would say. Then write down what gender you are, just for the sake of it. And like, you can also write down what kind of things just come along with you being either male or female. You're most likely male, bro. I don't really have girls watching my channel, I think, but you get the idea. Then we should dive into race. So this is kind of a controversial thing because a race is bro. If you play a role-playing game, you can be human, you can be orc, elf, dwarf, what the fuck ever. So if someone is coming along, be like, oh, but race, shut the fuck up, bro. Just, you come from somewhere, bro. Everybody comes from a place of the earth, and everyone is kind of adapted to a specific place. Simple as that. What is your ethnicity? And your ethnicity is not your, it's not necessarily, if you're an immigrant, it's not the country that you're born in, but I mean, like, what's your geographic ethnicity? What race are you, in a sense? Where do your ancestors come from? What is, like, also you should write down the place of your birth, but this is more for like the culture. So what is the culture that you inherited? Things like there's a cultural character, so people from a particular country tend to behave in a particular way generally because that's just the way they were brought up. What do people from your folk have in common? What are the virtues important to your people? What family structure did you originate from? what is the music, the food, the clothing, and the general expression of your culture? What are the traits common within your race? So things such as just the strengths that come along. For example, if you have really dark skin, you obviously have like sun resistance as an example. Like what are things that are common, that are culturally valued? An example of that would be that if you're like from Western Africa, your people are generally very strong, very exposed, very naturally very athletic. If you come from East Asia, your people are naturally just really, or India, for example, people have like a heavy focus on academics, so this is like culturally very cherished. And those are strengths that you probably inherited. Simple as that. Because there was simply a thing that was valued from a young age on. So write these things down and go into autistic detail. This only really counts if you're like an immigrant. What country what place were you born in, and what is the culture in that place, and how did that impact you? So let's just say you're Japanese, but you were born in the US. And now you've got two very different cultures that both are going to influence you. So your family structure, like the family structure that you are going to have with your wife, for example, is maybe going to be the American one instead of the Japanese one. Just an example. Or the diet, like maybe the country you're born in is largely going to influence your diet, as an example. So write down the exact origin that you have. Now we are going to cover your base stats. So the role-playing games, you've got stats, right? Like strength, intelligence, speed, whatever the fuck. And figure out what strengths you are gifted with. It could be physical strength, it could be speed, endurance, intelligence, dexterity, adaptability, or willpower, or even luck. Luck is actually a strength. I have a friend who is just naturally way more lucky than me. I have to work harder to get things. I can still get things done, but I just have to put in more effort, and he just kind of randomly picks things up. And what are your base stats? So it is kind of hard to really find a metric, but I should recommend that you start pretty low, because most likely you are young and you haven't really built yourself up. And we could do the following. So you can take these things, right, these stats that you want to figure out, look at people that have maximized it. So if you want to look at strength, for example, we can simply take a look at the strongest man in the world. Half of Bjornsson, for example, his deadlift's like 501 kg or whatever. Let's just say 500 kg is like the strongest. That's 100 points. How far are you from that? As just an example, right? That's like one metric that you have. And obviously it's kind of hard to get a specific one, but to simply give you a broad idea. Again, I recommend you start low, like start on lower side. Simply because most likely you're really young, you haven't really developed yourself yet, and simply try to figure out what strengths you want to increase. So maybe strength, like physical strength, is not very important to you because you want to become a doctor. So you don't really want to put too many skill points in that, but then you have to increase your adaptability and willpower, as an example. Next thing, are you born with any illnesses? So do you have any debuffs, any nerfs, so to speak? Like, for example, if you pick a vampire race, you can't take sunlight. Just an example, right? But maybe you're born with some kind of condition that inhibits you from taking sunlight, or your skin's just really pale. So also figure out your weaknesses. This is really, really important. Knowing your weaknesses is going to prevent you from pursuing something that you're not meant to do, and to also like see, in a sense, to avoid getting exploited, right? To avoid putting yourself in a vulnerable position. This thing is just really important, so you get to know yourself on a physiological level. Like you're an animal, bro. We're all animals, right? And we have to know ourselves on a physiological, psychological, and spiritual level. Next thing we have is your class. So when you play the role-playing game and you pick your race, let's say you just picked orc, and then you could pick your class. You could be like a knight, you could be like a swordsmaster, thief, spellcaster, wizard, an archer, whatever the fuck. You get the idea. So what is your job or your aspiration, and how do you choose to express your skills? This is going to be your class. And if you haven't figured this one out, it's fine, but I would say if you haven't figured it out yet, kind of try to maybe see what what class is naturally going to come handy to you. So if you, for example, if you're a really strong guy, I'm gonna use role playing games as an example of it, obviously, but if you have really high strength, for example, but you maybe lower on the intelligence side, becoming a knight would be just more handy to you because a knight is going to like require you being strong anyway, right? Like that's gonna be more handy. But if you become a wizard, if you have low intelligence but high strength, you're just kind of wasting your potential. Now we are going to get to your belief. So in role-playing games, you could kind of always pick like some kind of god within the lore that you were praying to, and this would offer usually some kind of stat boost. So what is your religion? What type of god or spirit or whatever are you praying to? Again, I'm not imposing my beliefs or anything. This is for you to figure yourself out. What, like, whom are you praying to? And what strength does the faith give you? Like, what kind of stat boost is the faith granting you? Because a faith is always going to boost you some sort of a stat. It could be willpower, it can be empathy, it could be physical strength, whatever, bro. Just write it down. Okay, so next thing is, what are your morals? And be honest, you don't have to, in a sense, like you should not try to well, what's the name for it? You should not try to, in a sense, your morals do not have to make anyone happy. Like your morals you shouldn't think to yourself, oh well, nah man, I gotta have lots of empathy because my religion or my culture wants me to be empathic. No. What kind of moral were you born with? You can be egoistical, or you can be someone who likes to share a lot, just as an example, or you can be someone who simply does things on a logical basis. So you maybe just don't have that, like, you don't have that emotional attachment to people and simply act reasonable, meaning that if you are good to someone, if it benefits, if being good to somebody benefits you, you're going to do it. But if being bad to him benefits you, you're going to do it as well. Just an example, but write down your exact morals. And there's no right or wrong. Like, don't think what my religion thinks is right, what society thinks is right. No, write down what you think is right for you. Simple as that. Get to know exactly, and by the way, you can pause the video, of course, just pause it and write things down. You don't have to write things to listen to at the same time. Just realize that. Anyway, get to know exactly who you are and spend time thinking about your upbringing. What did your physiology, your race, your culture, or the multiple cultures if you're an immigrant kid like me, and your belief make out of you? What type of morals did it give over to you? Create whole biography, including your stats, like Morrowind or Oblivion, for example, and just make like a layout for your character. You can even make a drawing of yourself if you like. Next thing we are going to write down is your network of people. So this is something that if you get into a sales job or a pyramid scheme, pyramid schemes are basically just sales jobs that you have to pay in. But you get the idea. This is one thing that they always do. They would make you write, like, they would make like a thought experiment. So imagine a mind map with you in the middle, and then you would have like family, friends, then you have like people from my soccer club, whatever, people from my fishing club. You get the idea. So write down your network of people. Write down the people that people that you simply know, people around you. Friends, family, neighbors, people you know from the gym, from the boxing club, like restaurant owners or workers that you regularly visit. Write each of these people down, and also like write down how your relationship is to them. Example would be, there's me, there's my father, relationship not so good because I fucked up because I burned the house down. You get the idea, man, something like that. Or we have like restaurant X that I go to, restaurant owner. Let's say his name is Mario. I love Mario. He likes me too because I always tip a lot. We always talk. You get the idea. So have an overview of your own network. This is just kind of for yourself also to figure yourself out. Like, maybe you have like some hidden opportunities amongst these people. It's always good to know your surroundings, man. It's always good to know the type of people that you're dealing with. Or you could also just see if your network is way too small that you may have to broaden it, but you get the idea. So after you've done this, you have to figure out your quest, so your main quest. What is your ultimate goal in life? Is it being a doctor and saving lives? Is it just being an entrepreneur and providing people with a good service? Is it being an athlete and competing? Figure out your main quest based on all the factors before. What strengths are you're born with, what you like, and what you're able to do. So what you have around you, what kind of institutions, what type of people, that's why we also did the networking before, what type of people and institutions you have around you that can help you achieve that goal, or that enable you to do that goal. Think, how can I be valuable to society? How can I be valuable to the people around me? What can I help them with? Our God-given main quest is providing value to our people and then procreating. But your main quest could also be discovering space, for example. So this is kind of highly individual. You have to figure out, just through all the factors before we discuss, every single one of them is going to lead to you having your main quest. My main quest, for example, for sure, is being a teacher. I am naturally very good at teaching things. And bro, like I'm speaking English right now. English is not even my second language. It's not even like it's neither my first nor my second language, right? But I'm naturally very good at coaching people, especially when it comes to I would say when it comes to just like life coaching in general. But I don't really like being a life coach sounds kind of scammy, right? But also like fitness coaching, things of that nature. I am just naturally very, very good at it because I have expertise in those things. I'm really nerdy. I read a lot about topics. I memorize quite a lot, and I also have lots of empathy, so I can empathize with people always. I just fucked it up. I gotta say, I'm always able to empathize with people. You get the idea. Next thing we have is, what side quests do you want to do? So let's say you're a doctor as a main quest, or you're studying medicine. What side quests will benefit you? Maybe you pick up MMA classes in order to develop your physicality and have like mental relief from all the studying, or just like the general stress of being a doctor. It could also be things like learning to play an instrument and giving a small local concert with some friends of yours. My side quest, for example, right now is learning Japanese because I want to learn. Simple as that. Your side quest should benefit you one way or another. Ideally, your side quest should give you some sort of valuable skill and network you with valuable people. Again, valuable. People coming along saying everybody's worth the same. Shut the fuck up. People on an individual level have different values. Don't start. Let's say your side club is Jesus Christ. Your side quest is clubbing, and you go out and you start clubbing and shit. And you get to know like fucking crackheads and drunk cars and shit. Yeah, you're not really getting to know valuable people, my friend. Pick up something that teaches you something and that makes you more valuable, and that grants you access to more valuable people, so that you can broaden your network of people, giving you more opportunities. That is how you are smart in life. And to kind of just sum this point up, you should journal. Have some type of journal to actually note down how you, as in your character, is doing. Have you increased your base stats? Have you made any form of progress in your main or side quests? Things of that nature. So in Oblivion, for example, you have or in Skyrim you have a quest log, right? In Skyrim it's more of you have like check marks to do, but in Oblivion you have like or more of this, well, you have an actual log, like an actual journal. So let's say your character's name is your name is Marcus. I would write like, okay, Marcus went and defeated the dragon and stuff. So try to do the exact same thing. I actually recommend that you write from a third person point of view, meaning that instead of writing, I did and finished the dragon. Or you can do that as well, both are kind of good, but you could, if you write like a third person point of view, it kind of grants you a less emotional, how should I say, you're able to decide less, like on a more reasonable side rather than the emotional side, because we kind of generally think emotional for ourselves, right? Because we kind of just want to do what we feel like doing. But if you think about other people, we have a more reasonable approach to things. So you can also just simply write down, if your name is Mike, you know, Mike just finished doing his studies, and now Mike is going to pass the exam tomorrow. Mike passes the exam, he got an A. Well, fantastic. You get the idea. Simply journal to have an overview of if you are whether you're getting ahead in life or not. So the second point that I'll be making is that you have to develop physicality. I'm not going to talk too much about this right now because your brain is probably already fried, but if you are a man, you need to have some base strength. Again, I'm talking base strength. You have to have like basic expertise within physicality. So basic strength training is a must. Pull-ups and push-ups will do the fucking job, bro. You have to learn to actually fight. And in fact, I think I will make a separate video out of it because it is a deeper topic. But no matter what class you are choosing, being able, like having physicality, being able to fight. And I'm not talking that you have to become some UFC champion. Just having general basic fighting expertise is super fucking crucial because we are cavemen down here. We are naturally just cavemen. And like no matter what you're going to do, being able to find, so building that resilience, the mental resilience also, and then on top like the physical resilience, whether you're going to be a doctor, an artist, a businessman, it's going to benefit you on a grand scale. But I'll make a separate video out of it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this one, just share your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I wish you a fantastic day.